has a 5-phase plan. And as I go through this, I want you to think to yourself of what's happening in America and what phase we're currently in. Phase 1 is to establish an elite Muslim leadership while raising taqwa, or Islamic consciousness, in the Muslim community. Phase 2, creation of Islamic institutions the leadership can control, along with the formation of autonomous Muslim enclaves. Phase 3, infiltration and Islamization of America's political, social, economic, and educational systems, forming a shadow state within the state, escalation of religious conversions to Islam, manipulation of mass media, and sanitization of language offensive to Islam. If you are thinking that's where we are, you are correct. So what do we have to look forward to? Phase 4, openly hostile public confrontation over U.S. policies, including rioting and militant demands for special rights and accommodations for Muslims. And Phase 5, final conflict and overthrow, jihad. There are 4 areas of American society that are being Islamized: education, immigration, government, and churches. So let's begin with education.
Education is one of the most important areas that Muslims have to address. And while our objective, our final objective, is not just to become part of the system that we experience now and that we see, our objective, our final objective, is to create our own Islamic systems, and not only create Islamic systems for Muslims, but to look at all the other people who are sharing this country with us as potential Muslims. And if we look at them as potential Muslims and feel that we have the obligation, which Allah has told us, to try to bring them into the same style of thinking, into the same way of behaving, into the same objectives that we have, then we have to have some way that we can communicate with them and some way we can work with them. And in that long-range process of making America Muslim, all of America Muslim, then we have to have some actual short-range goals. We have to have some way of dealing with them and know how we're going to deal with them and in which ways, and be very calculated about it, or else we will not accomplish our goals.
Chances are you weren't watching that live 30 years ago on C-SPAN. And it's not good to not be on the same page as an Islamist.
Well, I've always brought my children up, alhamdulillah, to think of themselves first, last, and always as Muslim. My little daughter, who's in 2nd grade, kept saying to her teacher, "I'm not American, I'm Muslim." And after a while, I started getting notes coming home saying, "What does she mean?" You know? And I got the same sort of notes from the school where we were overseas, in a Muslim country, so-called Muslim country. The principal said, "What does she mean?" And she was in a Muslim country. And they would say, "Well, you're American, right?" She said, "No, I'm Muslim." And the principal here said the same thing. That shows that we have similar kinds of problems in approaching the field of education, whether we're living in a so-called Muslim country or whether we're living here in the United States. We should be involved. We should be involved at every level, the local level, the county level, the state level, the national level, and the international level. How are we going to be involved? We want to be involved as a distinct Islamic entity. And I say Islamic and not Muslim because there are lots of Muslims running around who don't even know what their agenda is, and who start defining their agenda through the eyes of non-Muslims. So that I want to say Islamic. And if we are Islamic individuals and we come to our relationship and our connection with the public school system as Islamic individuals, then we will not be part of the great, what they call, American melting pot. We do not want to melt into American society and disappear. We want to go into American society with Islamic ideals and revamp their thinking. We want to revamp them. We want to turn them into Muslim individuals.
In other words, don't assimilate. So it's no surprise that we are seeing field trips to mosques. And also, this would include a Minneapolis public school who had kids color pictures of Ilhan Omar. Public schools haven't been so kind about Trump, coloring pictures and writing